And I can already tell you, even at such a low level experience as a Zerg, it's already making my game knowledge and my casting so much better. You can't imagine.
Good. All right, time for us to introduce the players. I feel like.
Yep.
Spawning at the left-hand side, on the bottom, it is from Alternator's attack, Lambo, the Bruiser. And his opponent, Patrick.
His opponent is spawning on the lower right, scouting in the wrong direction. It is from Team Fnatic, Ignite, formerly known as Pink.
There you go. And for my career on StarCraft, I don't play StarCraft right now just because I'm a lot of times I'm busy with work and stuff like that. But when I did play it, I was a Master League Terran player, and Wings of Liberty I did quite well. And before that, I played Protoss in StarCraft 1 when I was younger, and that was my main race back then. When I played StarCraft 2, I really felt like Terran was the way to go, just because you had a little bit more options. And in the beginning of StarCraft, they were a little bit OP.
They were, yeah.
So that was an easy choice for me. We do have a pool first on a relatively big map here. That's something you don't necessarily prepare for. And in this time, Ignite went for the Forge opening.
Yeah,
and he's already got a few probes on the map.
You know, I don't actually think he's going to try and cannon rush per se. I think that Forge was just a security measure, because he did go and scout with the probe towards the top. He didn't find his opponent, so instead of putting down the Nexus, he puts down the Forge and goes to scout with the second probe as well. The first one is being recalled back to home, or back home, back to base, to build that Nexus here. So, you know, that was just a security forge in my opinion. He does let this pylon at the natural finish, so and he's doing a good job. A damn good job at delaying the third. Oh, double pylon block! That's not nice. And whenever this happens to me as a Zerg player, I am cursing to heavens. This is really not at all ideal.
Nope, and he's probably gonna cancel that second pylon. I feel like, is he actually gonna make the finish? Nope, close there though.
Good call.
Good call. It's gonna get that investment back, or most of it at least. Lambo is gonna be a little bit delayed there, but at least the third base is halfway finished, and he does supply block his opponent with the pylon, which is a little bit sloppy from Ignite.
Yeah, but third base is at the worst possible location for the Zerg player, because it's towards his opponent. And, you know, this is the third base no one wants to take, because you have that cliff overlooking the base, and that is a pain in the ass to deal with once the Protoss player stations a couple of units there, like a couple of Stalkers or whatever. It's a pain to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, you can always position one or two Overlords there, but when you get a good push with a lot of Stalkers, they're just going to be taken out, and you have to run up that ramp in a very bad position, which you don't want to be in as a Zerg player. So I agree completely that that's not the ideal base at all for Lambo to take, and it's going to be hard for him to defend if Ignite goes for some sort of push a little bit earlier on. But we do have a Cybernetic core on the way, and the Nexus just finishing. +1 is already researching. That could indicate that he wants to go for some sort of +1 timing.
Yeah, in the very least, he could go for a gateway timing, judging by the when he queued up that +1. I mean, if you go for a for an Immortal Sentry, you don't need to queue up that +1 this early on in the game. You can wait, because it's going to take a while for you to get those Immortals up, that War Prism and stuff, so you don't necessarily have to spend your first 100 gas on +1. But Ignite did, so we might see multiple gateways coming down as well. And there are two options going from this. Again, he can take a third base relatively quickly, with the cannons securing the Nexus going up, or he can slam down additional gateways and try to go for a little bit of pressure, or he can go for an all-out, all-in of 2 bases with the +1 attack, something like a 6-gate we've seen Strinter and do today.
I'm just wondering why Lambo's making 10 Zerglings right now. He queued them up quite fast instead of drones. He did send some links in. He got chased away by a Stalker and a Zealot. So
oh, it's because of this harasser.
Yeah, he's gonna capture those units quite nicely. He's gonna surround them, and that's a good trade for him right there. And he wants to abuse that little bit of high ground straight away, and it's not working for him just yet.
Well, he almost got the queen, but the second one is here, so the mothership core has to retreat. If there were only one queen, then that one would have died. And the Stalker will get home safely. The Lings are being miles away from having any kind of mobility with the Ling speed, only just now being queued up, so Stalker will not die. And here we have the 3 additional gateways. Looks like Pink, Ignite is doing a very similar build to all his previous PVZs we have seen. It's going to be Blink, +2 being queued up, so very nice. Probably a 3rd base as well.
Yeah, should be a 3rd base, I feel like, as well, but we're gonna have to see. From the Zerg side of things, though, we do have a Roach Warren on the way, and Speed is almost finishing for the Zerglings. 5 Overlords on the way as well. That could mean he wants to make a lot of Roaches. I don't know what his read on the game is right now. If you check his vision, he did see most of the things from his opponent.
Yeah, he did. And Ignite just now added on multiple gateways. Now, these could be defensive. Yeah, almost certainly defensive gateways. He's not going to be using them unless he has to. And instead of warping in units, he's going to secure his 3rd. We have a lot of units in production, though, by Lambo right now, and you know, this is usually a good forward planning or forward thinking from the Zerg player, because around this time you kind of need to start producing units if you're facing an all-in or a timing from the Protoss. Looks like Ignite is going to be pushing at the same time he's expanding. Always a good choice to make, but yeah, he's going to hit a wall here. He's going to have to retreat.
That's way too scary to start pushing there. He does lay down a proxy pylon, though. I don't know about that. There's actually a spine and a spore on the ramp just in case from Lambo. With the creep spread, that's really gonna help. But he has a lot of roaches. He made quite a few roaches earlier on, and he has Zerglings. So he should be in a decent position, because there's not that many sentries, so there's not that many force fields available, and so far he's doing okay.
Yeah, but he does have Blink, and Blink Stalkers are really, really good versus Roaches. Oh, excuse me, he doesn't have Blink yet.
No, he doesn't.
Two seconds remaining.
Yep.
Huge warping of Stalkers, and I think that... Is Ignite thinking that he can finish this off with pure Stalkers? I mean, he could. He cancelled the 3rd. He's going for the 2 base all-in.
I don't know about this, Patrick. I'm actually not convinced, because there's 11 more roaches on the way, there's queens on the way, there's more spines on the way. And so far he hasn't done the damage he needs to do. He's on 72 supply against 144? 154?
Yeah, I agree with you. This is not going to work out, especially since he's trying to engage through a choke that Lambo has complete control of. He's always going to have the concave no matter what. Fanatics Ignite is never going to get the surface area with the Stalkers. He really needs to make them useful 100% of their potential. A little bit of a counterattack, and now Lambo is going to see that the 3rd has just been put down again. So he's like, oh, I know what you were trying to do. It didn't work, and now you are in a lot of trouble, mister. So the 3rd is going to probably get denied. Oh, well, maybe not.
He goes back wisely, and Lambo has to get rid of that proxy pylon. He's gonna do just that. Can start the creep spread once again, and he has a decision here. Does he take a 4th base, or does he counter push? That's a real big decision he has to make right now. He doesn't have that many resources to rebuild any sort of army, but I feel like if he goes for the 3rd base, he should be able to cancel it at least. But here we go, a little bit of an engagement on the ramp, and so far, dancing once again goes back to how game number 1 went between these 2 players. But I feel like Lambo just has to go for that 3rd base, cancel it, and go back home. Right, Patrick?
I think he's going to go for it. He's getting tunneling claws for his roaches. You don't do that unless you plan to be extremely aggressive. Lambo knows that Ignite put himself behind tremendously by trying to go for that fake 3rd into a 2-base all-in that completely and horribly failed. So he's trying to capitalize on his advantage here. Tunneling Claw's not yet finished. You know, this composition with the sentries and the stalkers, it relies heavily on those force fields to keep those stalkers alive. But once those tunneling claws finish, that's not going to be an issue. Look at those roaches closing in the distance. Ignite has to be blinking like a god right now, keeping those stalkers alive. Still a lot of roaches remaining alive. Eventually Ignite should clean this up, but there are more reinforcements coming in, more roaches for Lambo. I don't know, this is going to be a really close engagement. +3 has been halted for now, but it's almost halfway done. Defensive blink. Roach is coming in once more. Good arc for the Stalkers, however, Roaches do have a lot of hit points. The upgrades are the really deciding factor here for this battle, as the Protoss is on +2 and the Zerg is only on +1. But manages to split the Stalkers apart, or limiting their effectiveness rather, while the Roaches stay in one big clump. And looks like Lambo can do it. He's taking a 4th base behind this and adding more Hydras.
Yep, adding the 4 base, I love it. Hydra's already on the way, which is going to just melt these Stalkers even faster than the Roaches are already doing right now. And look at the supplies, it's getting better and better for Lambo right now. And the 3rd base is down from Ignite, so it's just going to be downhill from here, I feel like. And now he sees the burrow. There's no more cannon. You know what? There's not even an observer. He can't allow to cancel that immortal either. So this is going to be a very awkward position where they all pop out underneath that army. And here we go. And it's going to do a lot of damage. Picks up the immortal straight away. One Hydra is already very happy in the back, doing a lot of DPS. And this is looking very bad for Ignite Pepper.
Very, very bad indeed. The Roaches have command of the battlefield with that burrow right now. And finally an observer is coming out, but not before that Immortal gets surrounded. More Hydras are coming in from the front. The Stalkers are having a tough time dealing with that, and the burrowed Roaches as well. Now the observer is out, so they're going to be detected, but with these reinforcements, I mean, that's a constant stream of units going across the map. Lambo cannot even spend his money properly. That's how good off he is, and there's the GG from Ignite.